the sky comes falling down for you. There's nothing in this world I won't do.
Hey, what's going on everyone? Nate here with 7 Run Aquatics, and welcome to this week's edition of Apisto of the Week. Now, I do want to apologize in advance for not putting out the Apisto of the Week video on Sunday like I had promised. I kind of let the Memorial Day festivities kind of get the best of me. But I do hope you enjoyed that little DIY project that I put out on Sunday. I had that pre-recorded, and I thought that would be really interesting for you guys to see, especially if you're a Planet Tank person like I am. So today I'd like to talk about another one of my favorite Apisto species, and that's Apistogramma Macmasteri. And as always, we'll begin with a quick profile of where this fish can be found naturally, and then move on to discuss requirements, at-home care, and some more stuff. So let's go ahead and get into it. So here we are, we're looking at my male Apistogramma Macmasteri. His female is over here with Fry, which you may or may not be able to see in the video. But we're going to focus on him just for a moment here, and then we might go back over to her in a couple minutes. So let's go ahead and start out with the origins of this fish, where you can kind of find it in the river in South America. So Apistogramma Macmasteri, or A120 or 121, was discovered in 1979 by Dr. Sven Kullander in the Colombian state of Meta. And we're going to go a pin over here. My mouse kind of going out of view there. They're named after an avid cichlid enthusiast, Mark Macmaster, hence Macmasteri. Just kind of added an I to the end there. Let's see if we can get around there to see her. Apistogramma Macmasteri, much like other Apistos, come from slow-moving, heavily tanned backwater streams with plenty of leaf litter, sand, and submerged branches with roots in the water. And they can usually be found throughout northern Colombia into Venezuela. Apistogramma Macmasteri is frequently confused with another Apistogramma, Apistogramma viehita. However, the two are very different species despite similar appearances, and that's where the confusion with the A numbers comes from, whether or not they're A120 or 121. So now that we know a little bit about this fish and where it's from, let's go ahead and talk about some sexual dimorphism with Apistogramma Macmasteri, and we'll move on to some other stuff after that. Male Macmasteri can be quite large and have been reported pushing 4 inches. The qualifications or the standard for a dwarf cichlid is that one of the sexes remains 3 inches or under. Male Macmasteri can push that, so luckily the females stay pretty much in that 3-inch range. Females can get approximately the same size, however, if they are old enough and have enough time to grow. Males get a rusty orange, red hue to their dorsal, anal, and tail fins with blue speckled throughout. A sparse black lateral line is also observed on this fish. And females maintain a similar coloration while developing the typical golden yellow color we've come to love in our female Apistos, as you can see in my female here. We'll see if we can get my male who's hiding out under here. So at home, these Apistos have a reputation for being a little bit more demanding than other Apistogrammas, especially if they're wild-caught fish. In reality, they don't require a lot more than any other Apisto, other than simply good water, good food, and an adequate habitat. And that's where keeping this fish can be kind of difficult for some people. If you can't provide certain parts of that, I guess, like if you don't use RO water, if your tap water is not that great, or you have well water or something where your pH is high, and you can't really do anything to change it, this fish can be a little bit more difficult for you. So Wild Apisto Macmasteri will do best with RODI water tailored to their needs. Frequent water changes with whatever tap water you have can take the place of RO water. So essentially, if you don't have the specific water that this fish needs, so a low pH, and we'll talk about that in a sec, if you don't have RODI unit or something, you're going to want to perform more frequent water changes just to keep your water in top-notch condition. And speaking of pH, Macmaster, I typically enjoy a pH between 3.0 and 7.0. You don't really want to go higher than 7.0. They just don't do as well in my opinion. The temperature should be between 23 and 28 degrees Celsius, and a 20-gallon minimum tank size should be provided for this fish, especially if you're not an experienced dwarf cichlid keeper. And let's see, okay, let's move on to a little bit of spawning behavior. Oops, sorry about my finger going over the lens there. They're more or less the same as other Apisto species. They really do spawn a lot better if you can get them in a pH below 5.0. And my fish just happen to be a very good couple, and they've spawned for me. I think I have the pH in this tank around like 5.8 or 6 to 6.2. And as you can see, she's got fry swimming around on that log, or on the coconut hut. So that's just a suggestion. They do spawn better in lower pHs, especially the wild caught fish like mine. However, if you provide that good water quality, good sources of food, they will spawn for you in a little bit higher of a pH. Let's see if we can get my male still hiding down here. I don't know why he doesn't want to come out today. He's normally very interactive. So females and males do fight a lot, more so than other species of Apistogrammas, in my opinion. And so the male might need to be removed when spawning has been completed, just because he may want to spawn fairly soon after, and she's not going to want to have anything to do with it. We'll go ahead and look at some of my fry here. So really, and also providing these fish with a extremely natural setup is going to also aid in your ability to spawn this fish. This tank isn't probably my best aquascaped tank, as you can see. We've got my ember tetras over here huddled in the corner because they're terrified of my male Macmasteri. But I have provided some driftwood, some leaf litter. There's a large mat of Java moss there. And there's plenty of cave options for them to choose from. So as far as spawning, that's pretty much it. I guess in conclusion, for spawning, just provide as low a pH as you can. Let's see if we can get over here to the female. She wants to keep hiding. Provide the low pH, provide a very natural habitat, provide very natural foods, and you should have fairly good success with spawning this species of Apisto. So in conclusion, Apistogramma Macmasteri is a fantastic dwarf cichlid that I highly recommend owning and keeping at some point or another. These fish have more personality than any other fish I've owned, and I'm sure they would have the same amount of personality for you guys too. So with all that said, I'm Nate with 7 Run Aquatics, and as always, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.